Then I upload it to YouTube afterwards, as if I was streaming. What I realized is that like when I had like 4 hours of sessions back to back to back to back, it wasn't exactly good stream content, but it was still something that people would benefit from watching. So I kind of flip flop the way I handle it.
Oh, so this is like Spylo 2.
Yeah, this is Spylo 2.
Okay,
yeah. All stream sessions are actually just Spylo 2. That's basically how it goes.
I see. I thought Spylo 2 was from your stream that you just uploaded.
No. I have the stream uploads in Spylo 2, but those are just usually like my owl analysis, hero rework discussions. The actual coaching sessions, besides like the 30-minute replay reviews, are always on recording instead of streaming.
Gotcha. I'm like a YouTube only guy, so
I got you. Okay, well, welcome back. How you been?
Good. Good. I think I know. I technically got coaching from you way back when. Wow, it's been, what is it now? Oh shit, like
9 months. 10 months.
Yeah, 10 months. Yeah. So I mean, I guess I don't know if you remember me at all, but it's fine if you don't. Basically, well, I guess I guess you have the Google form if you want to look at that.
Yep.
But I mean, I think honestly, like since those 2 weeks, like my goals sort of shifted for today. I think I'm a lot less focused about mechanics right now than more about actually just getting a goal to work on.
Yeah.
Plus, I think that my hero pool has sort of like shifted just because I'm probably going to be playing less hit scan for this team this semester.
Mm-hmm.
We got a pretty good hit scan player. Just thankfully, it just happens to go to our school, so we got a good hit scan player.
Mm-hmm.
And then for like the sort of hit scan, like Sojourn, like there's someone who's like way better than me, so I'm just not going to play Soj.
Okay, makes sense.
Which is kind of good, honestly, because I think when
takes the pressure off. Yeah.
Well, also I just don't really like Sojourn. I know, like I got Sojourn coaching from you last time.
That takes a lot of pressure off.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like this hero, so therefore they don't have to play anymore. Yeah, I got you.
Well, so and like last time, like I was like hard to like masters when I was with you, and that's on the Sojourn, but also like I think I may have talked about this in the Google form. I don't remember what I said, but I don't remember like what they did. But like there was like that change in like season like I want to say 3, where like they like okay, we're putting everyone to their like, new rank.
Yeah,
and I shot up like literally in 5 games from Masters 2 to GM 2. Like I was like, oh, okay. And I think part of that's because I didn't play Sojourn anymore. I was just like playing like heroes maybe I was more like mechanically comfortable with. But it was weird because like I put so many more hours in when I was on Soj. And then basically I took like a 3-month break, a summer hit, or like sorry, April, May, June.
Yeah.
And then I got the itch like during July. And I was like, yeah. And part of it was I checked my profile. And apparently I never hit GM1. So I was like, oh shit. So I grinded super hard, and obviously like 3 months you get super rusty. And I guess I ended up hitting GM1, but I also made like a fun account where I had like sort of like a practice account where I would just one trick a hero for like 50 games straight of ranked.
Yeah.
Not like one day straight, but like
I got you. Yeah.
So like I did like a little Genji like thing, and then I did Echo, and then I tried Widow and Tracer, but
isn't that fun though?
School came at that point.
Isn't that fun?
Genji was actually pretty fun, yeah. And part of it was like
takes the pressure off.
It was nice to know I could still get GM with like heroes maybe I wasn't like that were a little harder and I wasn't used to.
Yeah.
Because like I pretty easily like got like GM like 4 or whatever on that. But it is fun also because like well obviously Genji and Echo are both fun heroes, like that's part of it. But also Echo, one thing is you talked about like the shift cancel thing on your stream, like with that thing is so fun to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That Echo tech. And honestly, I probably do it way too much, but you're probably noticing the VOD. So I put 2 codes today. One's Dorado. That's Echo. Probably what I want to do. Pariso is like a little bit of Genji and then Widow. Okay. I think I'd rather do the Echo.
Okay.
I think she's maybe.
Well, you're pretty much you're kind of I wouldn't say a pro with this, of course, but like you've been around the block. This is your round 2, so when it comes to like the schedule, the calendar, and all that kind of stuff, hero pool, it sounds like you don't need a lot of feedback for that, right? So we'll have more time, I'm sure. Okay. Well, glad to hear everything's going well. Mechanics. So I guess what parts of the form are not relevant here? What do you hope to get out of the sessions? Mechanics advice. You said you're not as worried about that right now.
Well, sorry, I honestly, I think if I had, could you like send me a screenshot of the form? I don't know where
Yeah,
to get
let me. You know what I should try and do? This might end in a disaster. Let me just click and drag. Copy and paste. Oh, this isn't too bad. It's pretty bad, but it's not too bad. That's what you got. Mechanics advice, better knowledge of pressure in neutral fights, adapting to a hero pool to a team setting, which is obviously relevant for you.
Okay, so see the avatar thing. That's funny. I'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, so ranked Hikey, it has been all over the place, like with heroes I'm playing. So like I feel like I started the summer as like the one trick account is like honestly, it was just a way for me to like make a hero pool without just like hyper flexing every game.
Yeah,
because I like variety. I think it's part of it. But when you make the challenge, it's like fun.
Well, I've always been a proponent of that, right? Like, I've always been like a proponent of like, if you want to mix up your hero pool, just spend some time grinding the character. You know what I'm saying? Because like, it's sticky. You know, like if I one tricked Anna for like 3 weeks and never touched her for like 6 months, I would still remember so many things just from that period of time. You know, if you're gonna flex around, that's how you want to do it. Do it in like short bursts. You know.
And the thing is, like, I think I used to be a Doom one trick way back in the day.
Yeah.
And I think maybe no heroes hit quite the same since Doom's gone, but I guess this is a good way to do it with that account. But that's really the goals here. Like, so like, obviously help my team win more, scrim higher, and improve aim. I feel like maybe that more ties into what I say just below that. So I feel lacking compared to other GM1s, like mechanically. Honestly, like.
Well, what do you make up for it then?
Well, so that's the thing. I don't really know because.
That should be a red flag, I guess, just as in terms of like, not a red flag to concern about, but that should be a red flag about your whole like second guessing yourself. Because if you don't know what you're good at, then how do you even know that you're bad at something?
But that's the thing, and because actually, like, so this season, so like I've been GM1 like pretty comfortably, right? So like I'm like this season, I haven't played very much, mostly because like school started, this team started, and also like. The rank up thing like doesn't tell you anything about improving. Like I guess like I have no idea like where in GM1 I am because like you so you need 50 wins to get top 500, right? And I'm so like I'm 25-10 on the season, so I have like a great win rate. Like I know I'm doing well. So like part of this feeling of lacking mechanically is honestly kind of faded a little bit. Like it's more like the better way to describe it now is like I just feel like inconsistent, which honestly might just be sleep.
Yeah, I mean, 7 hours is tough, especially with how much that you're doing, like in college. Like that's not a lot. Like it's rough. Yeah.
And I'm also pretty sleep sensitive, to be honest. So that might be it. But
I am very sleep sensitive as well. I think here's what I like to think about it. I like to think about it this way: if you're sleep sensitive, it means that you're tuned correctly. I think if you're not sleep sensitive, then your body has just adapted to operating at a crappy level.
Suboptimal, yeah.
I really think that's the case. Like no joke. I really think that's the case. So, sleep sensitive is healthy. It's like saying that like, oh, I don't feel good when I eat a lot of sugar. You know, well, that's probably should be like that. You know, yeah. Okay.
But the thing about the neutral fights too. I kind of mentioned at the bottom here somewhere. This is just like something I've noticed where like sometimes I'll like win a game, and then I know obviously stats aren't everything, but I do feel as though I generate ults like a little slow. Like I feel like I know one ult problem I used to have was like say I was playing Cass.
Yeah.
I would shoot 3 and reload, and I don't know if that's just like a really bad habit that I just haven't broken yet, but it feels like I am sometimes just like not shooting when I should, or like maybe on Genji I'll like pre-fire a corner as opposed to just like peeking and shooting. You know what I mean? Like I'll just like, trust the projectile.
Yeah.
So that's that. And other than that, I think we could get into it, I suppose.
Okay, sure. Could be more of an indirect value thing. It could be a couple of bad mechanical habits that you have. It could be that you're more of a go for more aggressive plays. That means that you have like more downtime, but your uptime is like higher quality, right? So like more deaths, more maybe fewer limbs, but like you're the one getting the opening pick, right? I don't know. There's who knows? We'll take a look at it. Okay. What code do you want to start with here?
Dorado, yeah. Dorado's the Echo code.
Oh yeah, the Echo.
That'll be more. plus we also lose Dorado, I guess, if it... Actually, we probably lose Prairie Sim too. Maybe we tie that.
Why did I copy the Dorado thing? I swear I clicked and copied the... Okay, that's
hilarious.
Dorado. It's weird, man. The reason it's not working. I don't know what's going on. I said Dorado. Why is it not working?
Okay. For some reference, this isn't a scrim. And yeah, I
could tell. Yeah, the little things on the left, the stats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
And I was like considering playing. Like, I was basically asking my team, like, do we want to run the Widow? Like one of my teammates like, please don't play Dorado without Widow. But I played Widow like the map before this, and I'm not the Widow player because he just wasn't. He couldn't make it yesterday, so I was like, we'll just play double flex at DPS and see how it goes. So
a little hard on second point for sure. A little hard in third as well, but I think first point can be quite good double flex. Yeah, okay, we'll keep it general. Do you want any do you want a little bit of percentage of team ideas thrown in here as well? Like how much of this?
That'd be awesome to be honest. But
because I know if you guys end up playing this map, knowing how to play versus this composition, because I'm sure you guys see this a lot, like the Florida Mayhem special. You know why Echoes play here, right? And Widow, the whole that whole dynamic, correct?
Honestly, I think I feel like I know the Widow more than the Echo.
Yeah.
I really have not played much Echo in the past. It's part of why I want to do Echo, but
it's basically
the Widow's just sidelines are just crazy on this.
Yeah, map. It's just sidelines are crazy, and Echo's the best flanker for contesting those sidelines. If you were guys to run a defensive Widow, the only thing that's really stopping the enemy Echo from just flanking and killing your Widow over and over again is your own Echo, essentially, because she's the one that can mark the Echo here, and she can hear it coming a million miles away. So then what ends up happening is that you never see that play in Owl because people are always going to be there, if that makes sense. The other thing here is obviously this bell tower is really OP for Echo, and just general high ground is good. And then in terms of copy value, one of the problems with a lot of the dive DPS is even a tracer or whatever is that the ult value is a little bit inconsistent. Echo's got that high value ultimate, right? You need your ult economy, especially when you're running it with a Widowmaker, because you don't really have any I press this button we win, and that's really, really nice for dive. So
by the way, that's the other thing. My dupes are awful.
It's really hard. It's really hard. It's a lot harder than it used to be. Because everything can work, right? Winston is good. Ana is good. I mean, even a Brig situationally has potential, right? But you can also just instantly die and the entire ultimate's wasted. So we'll take a look. Okay. So your responsibility is just going to be basically number one is gatekeep Widowmaker if she's available. That's the number one priority. Always for really everybody in your team. It's if Widow is in position we can pressure, she needs to be pressured. That's not going to be the case very often, but when it happens, you need to be ready. Second priority is just holding high ground and pressuring. It might be on the Echo. It might be on backline. It might be on tank line. It just kind of depends on what's available. So this is the kind of stuff you can't do. You can't do this.
It's just not... I'm not even sure I meant to drop all the way, but
yeah, you probably didn't. I guess here's the thing. Okay, so here are your options, right? First off, you kind of need to know where you guys actually hard holding, and then either kind of okay, think about it this way: you're setting up almost as if you're going for a burst dive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But really, that's not really the situation right now. Really, your team is just kind of controlling space and just holding and poking right now. So, what would be the best angle for you to poke the situation? Not an easy one, right?
I mean, I think the problem is where a star is I don't know.
You see how this problem feels almost impossible?
Start with monkey or on yellow, yellow building, way back.
Yeah, you could do this. You could do this as well, right? What do you need from your team if you're going to do this though, especially from your monkey? What's the risk out of standing here?
Well, I mean, they can clear me if they commit.
Right. Very simple.
I kind of need my monkey to be ready to jump and bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big thing for you is the problem is the transition point. That's why a lot of teams don't necessarily hold here from here to here or from here to here as an Echo, is because you're giving that Widowmaker shots as you rotate. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you go from here to here, Widowmaker can shoot you. If you go from here to here, Widowmaker can shoot you. So what you need is your monkey to be playing very, 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 very aggressively on this choke. If you guys can hold this aggressively, Winston holds aggressively. Now your Ana can peek. If your Ana can peek, then you can peek. And if you can peek, then we can hold them in this choke. There's a reason why a lot of teams don't hold here, though, is because that can be very difficult to do. A lot of them just kind of poke and prod and they kind of rotate here because now we can actually stuff people properly.
And they're just playing Arch then, like most teams against the Widow.
Playing what?
Arch, like the.
Oh yeah. Because it's a lot easier to stuff Woodmaker, but here this is.
But this is also our first time playing Dorado as a team. Like.
Yeah, I mean it's
a hard map for like 2 weeks, but just haven't had the chance to play Dorado.
Yeah. Good. Good. Careful for Widow respawn. Oh, they're on Torb. What?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the thing. I think I get lucky here that they just swapped that early.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like I haven't done my job as far as like.
I mean, the big thing is.
I don't think I came into this to gatekeeper.
Right. Your job is like this is just a general rule, right? Like you know this even like for as a gold or plat echo, you're either diving hit scan or you're avoiding their LOS. That's pretty much all there is to it. So the difficulty here is you need to continue to experiment, whether teams play Ashe or Widow or whatever, Sojourn even. Like what sidelines could I take where I could either spam or dive them, and what don't work? Because obviously, like Torb is going to make your life a lot easier, but not everyone's going to play Torb. And versus this, you could be a lot cheekier, right? You could be a lot cheekier. So where could you play? Like, what is the problem with what you're doing right now? I do think this is the problem. I know that you're setting up a copy here, but let's just pretend that you didn't have copy here. What's the problem with what you're doing right now?
It's just the downtime.
Right, it's the downtime, right?
Their monkey is
exactly
full HP right now.
Exactly, and the thing is at this point in the choke, is the downtime necessary? We talked about a little bit of what was the difficulty of doing poking and prodding when they were here. But now that we've rotated to Arch, you see the problem here, right? Ignoring the Torb swap, pretend they're even on Widow here, right? It still doesn't matter. You can annihilate these guys at the Arch. That's the problem here. Now, the question that you have to make, and the reason why you're doing this, I assume, let me know if I'm wrong, is because you have ultimate, right?
Yeah, I'm either looking for a dupe or I'm looking to kill the Echo. It's one of those.
Right. So what do you think is optimal here? Because I've picked at it, I've given the good, I've given the bad, but I've not really given you an answer about whether what you're doing is good or bad, or if there's a better way of doing it. What do you think?
Well, honestly, I don't know if I feel like I can still do the flank, but I feel like before I do it, I could just shoot stickies and try and get something out of the brick on top left.
Yeah. So just dump your damage here first.
Right.
And set it up. Now, how would you set up your dupe and who would you dupe? I'm assuming we're going to see it here. But
I think I'd screw with the Duke, but I feel like it should be Ana, and just to look for an anti.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so. I think you kind of bail on it, but yeah, I think it's reasonable. How would you do it?
Well, I think I should
copy here.
I think optimally, I should have just copied here and then turned around and then do cart or native cart.
Yeah.
Because that would have been pretty big.
Seems reasonable to me. So we've already established a little bit of a flowchart for you. Dump your cooldowns if you have a good angle, if you have a good spam angle, right? If you don't have any space, maybe you just hard flank, right? But if you have space, just dump your cooldowns, dump your damage, then look for the opportunity to copy Ana, find the sightline, go. Yeah, seems reasonable to me. But yeah, you guys are, I mean, to be honest, I look at this and you see it too, right? And I'm like, just frothing at the mouth, oh my days. That is so free. Because that's the problem for the enemy Winston, right? How do they force your Winston's bubble? How do they do that?
I mean, with this cop, I guess just spamming the shit out of him.
But you see how even that's hard, right? With the positions that they have. And yet look at you. Look at how easy it would be to force bubble for you, right? And so that's kind of that's the difficulty that they have. And I think you should need to be trying to leverage that a little bit more here, even when you do have Duke. But yeah, obviously a little bit of a misplay. Case in point, right? A lot of damage. I mean, to be honest with you, it's not bad. The only thing I would be aware of, let's put it this way, is this is such a weird thing to say, but you're not a tank, even when you copy tank. You kind of see what I'm saying?
That's the thing. So I did play a little bit of Echo in Overwatch 1, and company tank was always so free.
Yeah.
Or Doom if they had a Doom, because I just played him. But
Right.
But now, like, I think it's part of like the trouble is like, Ana is not a hero I'm that comfortable on. Like,
Sure.
I guess I'm kind of comfortable on the DPS on it. Like, so maybe I guess that's technically how you play it anyways. But
no, be very careful, because what I'm not discouraging you from copying a tank like Winston or Diva or Ram or whatever, right? Like, or even Orisa sometimes, right? The question is the timing, right? Do you see the problem with how this is? Do you see how you're the one setting the tempo here?
Yeah.
So like, then tell me how should this go then, right?
I should probably wait for like their monkey to commit bubble, I'd say, or like jumping deep,
or get your own monkey to jump deep. Like you're Peter over here, right? Peter's got 91% on primal. Peter needs to enable you. Peter needs to dive past enemy monkey deep, and then you do this at the exact same time. Because the thing
so you think I wait for the nano monkey before I do?
Maybe not even nano. Maybe not even nano. Because honestly, like, you're both gonna peel for each other. 2 600 HP bubbles, right? Double. They can't sleep and nade both of you, right? Surely, right? But that's from my Sam. So the problem is that you actually go in by yourself. You force a lot of attention, force a lot of cooldowns, and then get demacked. And then demacked, I say. But you know what I'm saying. Like, and then that's you enable your monkey. But the problem with that is you're the squishier of the two. So I want the beefier target to go first, the one that actually has 550 HP.
The real tank, yeah.
Yeah, the real thing, right? So I think that's a good general rule for whenever you copy tank. Try to let your tank take a little bit of heat first, so that then this can actually work. Because I don't mind the monkey. I even like the way you set it up. Jumping over the top, that's pretty tight. I love it. Just get your monkey to go in first, and you get primal. You 100% get primal. And then not only do they have 2 600 HP bubbles, a monkey zapping them, but they also have a primaling monkey. And obviously in copy, you get the full 1,000. So yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that applies. I think that applies to
honestly, it might be a communication thing too. I think I just need to, like,
could be.
Ask.
Could be. It could be, but it's important to know that that's what you're looking for. That you, whenever you copy tank, even if it's like a Diva, Ram, whatever, try to let your tank go first just by like a second. Just so that you actually get enough of the heat so that you're able to survive long enough to actually build that ult. Okay. Any questions so far?
Could you real quick just like take the camera over to first point and like kind of like I said that the yellow building is like a potential first spot. What is like the typical, like, let's say like I was playing a Widow Echo on defense. Where would Echo typically set up?
You go tell me.
Because I feel like
study Florida Mayhem VODs. Study Florida Mayhem VODs. Watch what they played. Was it Houston? It was Boston. I think it was Boston. Watch that match.
Okay.
Yeah, watch that match. Watch how, I think it was Boston. Yeah, watch how they set up here. Like, and what I would do is, the reason I'm not going to give you the answer is because you need to don't memorize the position, right? Look at how they set up in that match, and then ask why, and ask, does that apply to me? And then watch it a little bit more, and then ask why, and then ask, does that apply to me? Look at the old economy, right? It's a very dangerous thing, right? A little bit of knowledge, right? So
yeah, of course, like the cookie cutter can be.
Yeah, you need to understand the context of every single decision that they make. For example, like playing into the Torbjorn, you were playing with way too much respect. You need to play with a lot more ego because he's not gonna shoot you out the sky. So what I would do is, what are you looking for versus this composition? Let's say they're on Widow Echo. What are you looking for? What are the things that you're looking for in a position?
Oh, just I can get to their DPS without a lot of open sightline.
Sure. Can I either dive DPS without an open sightline, or is there something that I can spam without peeking their DPS? Right. Obviously, got to respect the Echo duel. Obviously, got to respect the Widow duel. And then can I just spam whatever else is there? And that's kind of what you're looking for. So keep that in mind and respond with what's given. Because the thing is not only are you not an Overwatch League Echo, because everyone thinks, oh yeah, I'm not good enough to do that. That's actually not the most important thing. What's actually more important is you're not playing versus Overwatch League teams.
Right.
So they're not going to play by the Overwatch League rules. They're going to do stupid stuff. And if you try to do smart stuff into stupid stuff's not, it's not going to work. Like, imagine if you played into the Torbjorn like it was a Widowmaker and how bad that would be. Not only would it be less effective, but you might actually die because you're trying to dive bomb a Torbjorn with Overload. It might not work so well. Okay, so now that actually goes into play like right now, Because I know they have poke damage here, but I don't like your positioning too much right now. I think you can greed this way more, right? Where should you be right now? Give me some options.
I could take mini room on the right.
Yeah.
If I wanted.
That's a little deep.
I could also do like far left, but honestly, I feel like that's too far.
I think so too.
Right now, I'm playing to burn monkey, I think, and that's like the safe but kind of boring option.
Right, but
you could also play not like right where the camera is, but like sort of down to the right, like on these little stairs.
I like this position the most, to be honest with you. I don't see any reason why you should be respecting a Torbjorn sightling that's sitting on cart. I think if you get pocket from Ana and Brig, I wouldn't necessarily play on the floor here, but I would be like, do you see the problem with what you could see right now? Hey, come down here and start shooting him now. And then as he jumps up, follow up and keep spamming him more. Okay. Set up an off angle, right? The reason why a lot of Echo players don't hold angles like super greedy here is, again, why? Widow, right?
Yep.
No Widow. So you can greed these sightlings a lot more. And so you're shifting out when really you should be playing catch here. And do you see how in this situation here, you might not even burn monkey? What would you burn instead?
Echo,
right?
And like that also just prevents me from just like I shift because of like, you know, jump damage, but here like I could shift right after. And
exactly. So you would control an angle here and then pincer from the sides, probably force a bad copy pretty quickly, right? And then still be in cover, still be able to burn whatever you want. But yeah, exactly. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Like they're not playing Widows. So, you know, you can't just copy checkmate and be like, oh, that's what's good. You know, maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Learn the rules rather than the details, right? What rules is checkmate playing by, you know? What would checkmate do if he was playing versus a Torb? That's the more important question. See, like even this, like, do you see how, like, well, just go over here and shoot people, you know? Like maybe hover here, right? Slide on the roof, break the Torb turret, shoot the Brig, right? Again, you look at how greedy and egocentric you can get with the sightline because of what they're playing. Unfortunate. Nice. Nice. Cool guys never look at explosions. I was just shocked at the Torb swap. That's just funny. I would expect like Ash or something, you know? I get that you guys are in double flex, but it's pretty funny. But see, okay, let's just keep playing. Let's just keep playing. Now, what's the problem with what's going on team-wise right now? Big
we're kind of giving cart for free.
You're giving cart for free, and why are you giving cart for free? What's not happening to the people on cart?
Just no real poke pressure right now.
Right. And so, who's the best one to put poke pressure on?
Probably me.
Right. Again, this is the thing is like this is the kind of hesitancy and respect that you'd give when you didn't know where they're, not only if they were on the Widow, but if you didn't know where their Widow was. Right. This is where you'd be really scared. Like I drop poke cart, I get sniped from this angle here, or maybe I get sniped from courtyard here, right? But that's not an issue here. So you need to be abusing this fact right now that they have no sightline control, right? And do it now. Do not let that monkey push cart. There's a reason why a lot of teams and various metas have kind of like shifted towards D.Va on this point, because it's very difficult. Even on first point, it's very difficult to get the cart moving when you have somebody taking an angle and just shooting your monkey in the face, right? So right now, I don't know if it's like you're trying to. What are you doing here? Do you remember this match or this scrim?
Like what am I doing right now?
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to look to kill the Echo and she jumps up. I think
right.
What I'm trying to do.
This is where I
just missed her.
Well,
I think I just missed her out of my camera point of view there.
Yeah. I think this is more of like a kind of similar to what you were doing with copy earlier, where you have like a set play that you want to go for. But I think just simply taking an angle and spamming, if the position allows it, if the composition allows it, is really important too. And I think you're missing that. Because it's not that. When would it be appropriate to set a trap for a Widowmaker or an Echo or something like that? I know this is a tricky question.
Ideally, when they've used like their movement cooldown,
sure,
but also like kind of like maybe like it's not always mid fight, but like a mid fight split for my team.
Sure.
Right?
Mid fight split, right? What about like old economy? Like, let's look at this fight here, right? You've got Primal. This is where we can start to bring into team play. You've got Primal.
Right. I'm
you've
also
got Nano.
so close to dupe.
Right. You're close to dupe. Yeah. Is this fight something that you're probably going to lose if you quote unquote play fair? Do they have 5 ults and you have 0? You kind of see what I'm saying?
Sorry, define play fair. I don't.
A dirty play would be to you to hard flank and kill a squishy.
Okay. No. We don't lose this. Like just just based on our ult economy.
So then you don't necessarily need to go for the high risk, high reward play, which would be the more of the assassination for the Echo. Safer play is to simply take an angle and shoot and spam. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, you go for something a little bit more aggressively, unnecessarily, and then I think you guys end up losing this fight, right? Did you see what I'm saying? That would be that would be when it basically a bait. Like, let's say this Echo is copy, and you guys have nothing, and they go in with Nano Primal copy. You blow her up. Maybe you guys clutch this fight out, right? Maybe it's possible, right? But you don't necessarily need to do that here. You could just do the easy thing: shoot cart. So it's part composition, part old situation. And the reason why I'm bringing that one up to you is because if you're playing this in a team environment, you should know ult situation, at least halfway reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're kind of in one of those tricky situations right now. Do you see the old economy here? So what are you thinking?
Well, it depends on maybe when we get rally, but it is sort of on me to be ready to sort of deadlift's the wrong word, but like, like enable my team with dupe.
Sure. So maybe something a little bit higher risk, higher reward, right? You've got 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 ults into a rally dupe. So you need to make something happen here. Now, could you stand here and spam tank, spam Torbjorn, like leverage that advantage? Yes, absolutely. That would be fine. But this would also be a situation where it could make more sense to go for something a little bit riskier too. What is a potential play that you could go for here?
A duping on high ground and then big nade. I think that's what
absolutely.
I'd like to do.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens. Now, what would be the more conservative play?
Spam.
From what position?
Maybe I would like to go top left here. Just to widen things out, I guess.
Sure. You'd have to keep in mind your support angle, but yeah, absolutely. Just it kind of in the same spot as the dupe, right? Just kind of take top and just spam, just shoot people.
Yeah.
See what happens. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Nice.
Feeds.
Nice. Absolutely dominated. Ooh, nice.
You're there, to be honest.
That's okay. Stupid Widowmaker. Budget Widowmaker.
See, I feel like this is a little. Obviously, like I think Peter stays too long, but also I have full cooldowns, and like I don't know. I feel like I could be at least rotating back top earlier. Like there's no reason for me to sit on low.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But also, Peter kind of feeds.
Yeah.
Now you got to make a real important decision right about now, right? Do I clutch or do I just shoot monkey? Or do I shoot Torb or whatever, right?
I think I attempt to clutch and I mistimed the clutch, but
I will say again here, if you're going to go for the clutch, I think cooldown dump, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I just don't.
I think cooldown dump.
I don't use shift away or stickies.
No, or beam. I think you just dump stickies, beam, and then immediately copy if you don't get it right. Surely, right?
There's also a timing thing, right? Like Is this just like slightly too early? Like wait for Brig to touch, or
no. I think you need to go now. Yeah, I think this is a question different if Peter's alive, if Peter's not alive. So you guys kind of have to both tank, right? So you're like, oh shoot, I died like almost instantly. But also like Echo goes after you. The Ana is looking at your pausing at her rotate, and then the Winston turns on and jumps you and commits bubble. I think this is a pretty good trade. Like it's about as good as you're gonna get.
It feels bad, but position advantage is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the fact this is even winnable is based off of your back there. You could have gone, oh, I could have hit the sleep or the stickies. Nice shots, by the way. I could have hit the stickies or the sleep dart on the Echo and maybe whatever I get to kill. But besides that, I think it was all right.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all right. Now here again, like you don't have to really do anything crazy, given the situation, right? Obviously, respect the Torb a little bit, but you just need to kind of control an angle and shoot. Like, if you can get here, I don't know where your support LOS is, but if you can get in a position where you can get support around here, even just a pack, and just shoot card and save your shift. Like, this is a little bit embarrassing mechanically, but this is what you need to be doing.
Full monkey.
Yeah, but this is what you need to be doing, right? Like, they just can't push card. They just can't. They cannot. It's impossible. They have to deal with it. And then you could shift up. There's bubble used. Now no bubble. You get your shift back. Now, see, I wouldn't even be looking at this.
You commit the monkey right here?
I just stay on the monkey. It's just easy spam.
Yeah.
Or Torb, right? They're just standing here out in the open and you have an angle, right? This is like the equivalent of like hard diving a Widowmaker that's across the map when there's an entire tank line just right in front of you. There for the taking.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying, right? I think you're trying a little too hard for these quote unquote dives when there's just so much spam value, right? Staring you right in the face. Do you see this? Like, it's fine.
Yeah, also, I high key, my game sense goes to shit here. Like, I don't think I knew the monkey was behind me.
But it's the whole thing. Like this Torb is right here. This Winston is right here. You can't realistically kill these guys very consistently, right? So just take what's available, right? Take what's available. I mean, even the Echo, right, comes flying in from the angle that you were just at. She's right there, right? She's right there. And you could just be standing right here shooting Monkey, shooting Torb, shooting Echo, or pursuing. Just hold an angle and shoot. Remember, it's the same exact kind of situation that we wanted you here, where it wasn't just about shooting Monkey. If anything else dives with the Monkey, you pincer and you push them in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know how that feels as an Echo, right? You try to dive with your Monkey, you get shot in the butt, and the enemy Echo just beams you down, right? All right.
Like, we win this fight, but it takes ults, and that's
yeah.
Shouldn't have needed.
Feels so hairy, unnecessarily. Like look at the value you're getting right now. You know, just like bam, 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 bam. Shoot. Now, this is another situation where it's like, okay, let's think about this. Nano, rally, copy. What do you think?
We don't have to be so aggressive here. But also, I think I did this because Peter was sleeping. I think it's a bad judgment call, though, because, well, I don't know.
I'm with you here.
Bubble.
I'm with you here. I think this is okay. I think this is, and the other nice thing, too, is that you're not forcing this, right? You're actually coming in from a nice little off angle, right? You're not like...
Well, the thing is, they committed bubble, too. So I think that's
right.
Makes me feel pretty good about it.
Right. I think this is fine, coming in from an angle. Now, the only problem here is what? You see it? Wait for it.
Oh, cooldown done.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
You're what's going to happen is this is just a ridiculously good flank, period. This is copy. This Ana's dead without copy. It's over. And then you're going to copy Ana as she's dying, or you're going to copy Brig and 1v1 the Brig and win, right? There's no one, but there's like, it's over for these guys. Like, this is going to be a lot harder than it needs to be. You know?
Yeah.
Dump the cooldowns. There are some exceptions to that rule, obviously. If you don't have time, if the cooldowns are at a range where you're not going to get value, but if you're that close, oh my goodness. Wait.
Oh, did he first to the wall? That's interesting.
Wait, for real? I've never seen that before.
No, me neither. Is that just a replay, or is that actually? No, that's probably in game too.
He actually sprayed. I didn't know you could actually do that. What? I've never seen that before.
Oh, this is so bad. I do the stupid cancel when I shouldn't. Part of it's me still getting used to the controls. To be honest, I switched to toggle, or not toggle, but to hold.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know. I think me and Peter commit a lot here, and they kind of roll us.
Yeah. It's just like another one of those situations where I'm just not sure that you have to commit this hard.
Right.
You know, you're treating this like this is a clutch only fight, but it's a 2 for 3. You're probably going to be able to stall this one out long enough, right? So first off, yeah, you got to hit every sticky. You got to like actually hit the extra shot. You shouldn't beam this soon either, right? So a lot of hindsight foolishness here. Mm-hmm. However, the other thing too is like I don't know that you necessarily want to commit here. Why not just sit here and spam? Pull attention your way, save the shift, wait for something mid-fight to open up. I don't think that you're at such a
disadvantage. So hard, like with Rally and Nano Monkey, like.
Yeah, I don't feel like you're at such a disadvantage this fight that you have to immediately transfer over to we have to one-shot the Ana, otherwise we lose.
Right.
I don't think that's the case at all. You have Nano and Rally. I think you can drag this fight out for quite a while, and then you're going to wish that you had those cooldowns in your pocket. So what are you seeing so far? I know it's just a little bit complex, but what are you seeing so far?
So it kind of goes to what I said about sort of like neutral fight, like pressure and like I guess just getting the damage numbers up, you know? I think what I've seen here is like a lot of times like I'll get an angle, but a lot of times I don't get an angle to hold an angle, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
And I think that's the habit here, but I imagine that goes to other heroes as well. Like,
oh, I'd agree. You ever played Iliari, like even just quick play?
Maybe like 2 quick play matches.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think of what would be a good analogy here. Maybe like an Ashe, maybe a Hanzo, something like you just kind of hold a sight line, just put out constant pressure.
Most recently, the hero I've been playing that can like take a lot of angles and is maybe a little more spammy is Soldier.
Yeah, sure. That's a good one. Right? You don't have to go and like roll the backline with a one-shot helix combo every time. Right? Just your existence.
I think that's my habit on Soldier. Actually, is like I think a lot of times I'll like find a way to use helix and then run to a different angle. Find a way to use helix, run to a different angle, which is good.
Sometimes that's good, right? Well, okay. When is that good?
I guess when one obviously depends on enemy comp, but also like
right.
It depends a lot on the ult eco, I guess. That's what I'm learning from this.
It's the same thing with eco, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It depends on the comp, depends on the old eco. If you're playing into like Widow Ashe, Zen as echo, you're not going to be spending a whole lot of time holding an angle and spamming unless you can find an angle where they can't shoot you, right? Maybe you can shoot tank. You're going to need to go for more of these aggressive dive plays. But when they're on like double projectile, Torbjorn, whatever, like even the Hanzo, right? If I can LOS that Hanzo, okay, well then I have so many spam opportunities. And then like you said, the old eco, going for the more high risk, high reward dive plays when necessary. But if you have a great position and you could just spam and put out more pressure and then mid-fight look for something, go for it. I think like there's a lack of nuance, you know? I think there's a lack of nuance that you're showing. And then I think also the cooldown dump, right? Into your ults even. It's kind of indicative of how the rest of your neutral gameplay goes, but it's especially important on your ults because with your ults, you completely turn off your neutral value brain. It goes to 0. And then even leading into the ultimate, you don't use your cooldowns at all.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I guess like even regardless of like just dumping them, like there's like areas where I can use them like just normally, and I don't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. Any questions?
So
far,
as far as hero pools go, like so this is me on the echo. I think I'm probably gonna play any flyers for the team. That's I think what it's looking like.
Yep.
When we're streaming, so like I said on like Imperio, so I played some Widow. And I think like the Widow was a good pick. Like I think it's like one of the reasons we were able to get the 3 cap because we were really struggling.
Yep.
Also, I was kind of trolling before I was not a Widow. But like, is it worth like we have a Widow player? Like, is it even worth like in a scrim, right? Like it's not like the win really matters. Like, should I like? I guess maybe what I'm asking is like, do like in scrims, like do we just like hard commit to a comp? Because like I feel like sometimes it feels like maybe you have to play like part of like scrimming is to practice winning, right? Like you
Is there
do
a
want to.
circumstance in a match where
Okay.
you would need to pick up Widowmaker?
I mean, I guess maybe.
Maybe. Okay, then
So,
sure. Practice it.
okay.
Make it work. Yeah. I mean, as long as you can come up with a circumstance where switching or swapping or being flexible might help you either in the long run in some sort of, yeah, sure. I think it's fine. But if you can't come up with a situation where it would be and you're only playing for that one W on the map, then yeah, I think it's pointless.
Okay.
But yeah, I think in this circumstance, if you're like, I want to pick Widow because, there is a situation where I might need to whip it out, maybe it's niche, but it's possible and I'm being comfortable on it. Okay, sure. Go for it. Roll it. Have some fun with it. Yeah.
And then as for you mentioned at the beginning, not knowing why you're a certain rank is like a red flag, right? And I guess like
I would say it's a red flag. I would say it should be seen as a commentary on the fact that maybe you just are gaslighting yourself a little bit. Because if you don't know what you're good at, but you only know what you're bad at, then that's kind of a commentary of like, of where your mental headspace is. Because you're like,
right.
Oh, my mechanics are bad and I don't know anything, and I don't know if anything else is good. I can tell you right now, my mechanics are not very good in most characters I play, but my decision making, my positioning for most characters is okay, and my ult usage is usually really, really good. But my mechanics are not there on most characters I play. And most people don't have like that level of familiarity with their skill set. But if everything that you know is negative, then maybe you should kind of be a little bit easier on yourself.
No, obviously. I mean, like one of our teammates, to be honest, he kind of a big ego, but he told me like, look, dude, like you need a little bit of an ego to be good, just to be confident, I suppose. Because
Sure.
I guess like I told you about like the whole hard select masters thing. Like,
yeah,
I like to think I maybe didn't think much of it, but like honestly, looking back, like maybe that did like kind of keep me down a little bit mostly because it was weird because like I played Overwatch 1. I was able like season like very late, like season 33 plus, right? Last 3 seasons of Overwatch, like I could very comfortably hit GM. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, not like high in the GM, like I'd hit GM and immediately stop playing, but like I like I was like one day I was like what, I want to play Reaper, take him to GM, it'll be stupid, and I did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then when I got to Overwatch 2, like being like mid masters, like on Sojourn for the longest time, like I was playing with people who were like 3K flat in like season 36, and obviously like some of that's like a little stupid. Obviously people improve, like the game is literally different from Overwatch 1, like things with priorities.
Yeah.
But I guess like maybe that was a little disheartening, and then all these like changes and now like so like, maybe that's why like I like 2-3 weeks ago whenever I submitted the form for this, like I was thinking like I'm not like other GM ones. It's like now it's more like a consistency thing with that sort of thing, because like I feel like there's like again I have like a 67% win rate right now in GM1. Only 30 games, very small sample size, but like it's sort of enough to make me more confident.
Sure.
Like I know technically if I were to have 50 wins, like I'd be in top 500, and who knows how long that would last. Because top 500 technically starts at the very top of GM2 right now. But yeah, so I guess like as for consistency though, like because maybe that's what I feel now, because like there are sometimes like some games even where like for example, like I don't know, it's like 2 weeks ago, I was playing Genji on Circuit Royale. We had a great Widow, like he or she was like popping off. I literally went like 2-8 on Circuit. Like there was like no reason for us to lose except for me like trolling the lobby. And just like those bad games like feel really bad and feel like they happen like a little more often than they should. But like is that sleep? Is it something else? Am I giving it way too much weight and just like thinking about it way too much?
I mean, I think probably all of them. Probably all of them. I think you need it. Sometimes it's not so much. What's important is not just what causes those games to start happening, but what makes the games continue to happen, and what makes those games stick in your head for too long. Because what might happen is that okay, you didn't get enough sleep. Okay, there's your problem, or you haven't been practicing enough, or you got distracted by something that happened IRL, or you played too many games in a row. Whatever. Okay, So then the game starts, you're playing, and then you're playing the game, and you realize that you're not playing super well for whatever reason. So then now your first thought is, no, here we go. It's one of those games. Yeah, this mid-masters crap. It's like, what's going on? Right? And so then now what do you think is going to happen the rest of the game? Well, it's not just that, you're going to self-fulfilling prophecy. You're just distracted. You're just distracted, right? So of course you're not going to play super well, right? And you're going to lose. It's not just confidence. I think that's a big part of it, but it's a distraction to not be confident, right? That's why it's so bad. So then now you're distracted, and then the cherry on top is that when the game's over, you might go into the rest of the day, or at least to an extent, and now you're still thinking about that Circuit Royale. I mean, come on, you told me the fact that you even remembered the map, the hero that you played, and the approximate KD that you had, it's been sticking with you for a little bit, right? Right?
Real.
So you got some baggage, and I think like it's not realistic to not have those games sit in your brain. I can remember some of my really bad games where I had stat lines like this, and I had second guessed myself too. It happens to everybody. But I think you got to ask yourself, could I have managed that, prevented that better? Could I have dealt with the shortcomings? And could I have, for lack of a better term, flushed the toilet afterwards a little faster? And I think the answer to all of those is yes. And whatever, just like any real game skill set where you focus on one thing at a time, focus on one thing at a time. When I start to have a bad game, I'm going to work on letting it go, treating it just like practice, and trying to not distract myself with the whole ego thing. Or when I have a really bad game and I was really distracted and I was really tilted, I'm going to work at stepping away from the computer, taking some deep breaths, focusing on the next game. I'm going to work on letting everything go. Or I'm going to try and be a little bit more consistent with my sleep schedule so that those games happen less often.
Okay.
You see that? There's like sense, any of those can help. Any of those can help. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect, as always. It doesn't need to be perfect for it to be helpful. I wish I could sit here and tell you that I don't get tilted in the game anymore. But I can tell you that I never tilt as much as I used to, ever. Mm-hmm. But it took practice to do that. It took a lot of practice to do that. So, I approach it from a lot of different directions, and I think you should too. And I think you shouldn't worry too much about it. You shouldn't worry too much about it. I think putting too much thought into it is a thing as well. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. Move on. Because I think when it comes to dealing with these things, less is more. Just get more sleep. That's it. Just focus on what you need to do in game. That's it. Just shrug it off, touch some grass, go back and play the next game. That's it. You don't have to have a soul-searching 15-hour meditation session every time you go 2-8 in Circuit Royale.
It is also just a game after all. So
yeah, exactly. Do you want to watch a few more fights?
Maybe could we skip to second point? I feel and then I have one ranked question, maybe some team questions, but I guess we can do that now if that's the time. So
yeah, it's up to you. I mean, it's up to you. Whatever your priority is. I mean, I told the next guy that we can run a few minutes over. So whatever you got.
Wait, so
go for the question then.
My brain is completely farted. I'm sorry. Let's just keep watching fights.
Let's keep watching fights. Second point. Surely everything's fixed now.
Well, we don't win, so.
Yeah, but you deadlift it. Nice stickies. Now this is a little bit tricky, right, with a Hanzo.
Wow, that is a loud guard.
That is a very loud vehicle. That's fine. I happens to me. Someone said my windows open. Like a 40-mile-an-hour street. Just 100 yards from the house. My gosh, I can still hear that thing. And people literally will go 80, 85 on it. It's actually crazy. Okay, let's distractions aside. Scary with the Hanzo logs, but you can see just how much spam pressure you get here. Now, here's again the question. Should you be spamming Monkey or should you be dive bombing Hanzo?
Okay, so here I actually think it's a harder decision than previous. So here, because
I agree.
Obviously, Bubble's low, but I can't give away my position right now.
I agree.
'Cause he might hear me, but also maybe not. So I don't know. I feel like versing the Hanzo is fine. It's just the second I whiff, I just need to immediately turn on the Monkey.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. You have to consider what is the positioning allowing you to do. Don't just look at the comp too, because we talk about comp, we talk about old economy. I think the other thing is positioning, right? When you were here, you were in a great position to just spam tank, but you were in a terrible position to dive bomb anything over here. And I think the same thing applied all the way on third. Remember when the Ana Brig were up top here, right? You just weren't in a good position to get to them, but you were in a great position to shoot Monkey and Torb on point. Yeah. This one, You're in a great position to do either. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful little dive bomb we got going on here. So just take it. Take it if you want. Right, and there it goes. But the whiff is still pressure, right? It's still space. It's still a distraction. It's 2 for 1. The Ana has to hop pocket him. It's good. It's good. That was good. So I know it's like super Oh my gosh, that is scary. You rat.
That wasn't intentional. That's just a habit. I just sprayed the ground. That's not like.
All right.
Oh, this is bad. This is
It's just a timing issue, you know. It's like you gotta be able to
like
drop.
We're 5-on-3 right now. Like it's just
yeah.
Like I'm like a better at Echo here. Like Echo is just
big sky. Come on. Ah, me and Hanzo. Ah, don't sticky bubbles. I know it's just probably in the moment you're just like, wow, what the heck is going on here? Don't sticky bubbles. Shoot, sticky. You know the routine.
Yep.
All right. Now again, you have another option, right? You could shoot monkey, or you could dive on top. Ooh, not bad, not bad.
Honestly, I like the idea of gatekeeping top. I feel like I'm just
I think it's fine too.
A little poorly here. Like I'll probably go top left, break the wall climb, you know. But other than that, I think it's fine.
I think so too.
Went way too far from the monkey. Okay.
That's fine. I think so far this fight has been okay. And then now it's like the fight's lost, right? So you got to go for the RKO, right? And you hit it. Now all of a sudden, is this fight lost? I don't know anymore, right? That was a nice play. High risk, high reward, right? And you needed to, because you were down one. You couldn't just sit there and shoot a Prime Lane monkey.
Also, since that wall climb change, I feel like Hanzo is just... He went from being like not very vulnerable during his what's it called? His wall climb. So like
oh yeah.
Before like peaking up wall climbing Hanzo is like maybe death. Now it's like kind of free.
It's a brutal change. It's a brutal change for the character. Yeah, I agree. A little early on the beam.
I think I thought he was lower because of the monkey, but
yeah, that's fine. I mean, we know what's coming, right? And again, this is a positioning thing, right? Like you're in a perfect position to shoot monkey here. You're also in a perfect position to ruin this guy's career. Do it up. Ah,
ruined my own career there.
Disaster. I mean, you're gonna want that one back. Do it again. Ah, okay,
there we go.
Good enough.
He walked into it.
Ah! Oh. Holy smokes, dude. Speedily, is that you? Oh, disgusting. Oh, the one time you cooldown dump.
The one time I used to before I did.
The one time you cooldown dump.
Oh, this is rough. I also...
Yeah. I mean, it was always going to be risky, right? It was always going to be risky, you know? And you went for it. It didn't quite work out. Hindsight's 2020. I'm not going to hate on it. Oh, that's a little bit questionable. Maybe? I'm zooming through a little faster here because I want to make sure that we get as much gameplay as we can. Oh, no way you guys lose to this. Dude, you're popping off. Let's go. Come on.
No, we win this. It just takes forever.
Okay.
Yeah. We lose third.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna watch as much as we can. Peter on the doom.
Yeah, I think I'll DM you some of the follow-ups because I think they're more like general anyways.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Oh, bless me. Yeah, that's questionable.
I thought the door was open still.
Yeah. Now you see what I'm talking about there, right? Because you're like, oh, I have a perfect position to go copy Ana and like cause some chaos over here, but you also have a perfect position to just spam and shoot tank. So to me, this is the order of operations, right? I think you spam shoot monkey, force bubble out, wait for your doom fist, take top, and then that's when you go for your high risk, high reward flank. We're defining high risk, high reward as like a dive bomb, you know, like a dive plate. It's not exactly the best description of it, but you can kind of see what I'm saying here. Like right here, like you please shoot.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I don't know why. Like he is literally right there.
It's right there, right?
It's to the wall.
Because you're thinking copy, right? And you're like, oh, I'm gonna wait for my doom. I'm gonna go in hard. I'm gonna copy Honor or Brig or whatever. And there it is, right? But like, think about how much easier this would feel if you had just simply used whatever. Like, here's a question: why don't you cooldown dump on the front line, then go for backline if this is what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a circumstance, right? So this is a circumstance where, like, okay, maybe you don't want to cooldown dump all the time on Ana because she might sleep you or whatever. Okay, fine. Cooldown dump on Monkey, force bubble, force him to jump out, then go for dupe. Because this is disaster. Oh, tell me you don't bash in. Don't bash in if you can. Maintain your distance, hold the aggressive position longer, and then bash out if you need to. I sit out here and coach your brig.
Let's try something.
Honestly, it's going to depend on the status of her sleep dart, but I feel like this is at some point going to be worth it. Maybe wait for beam. Okay, you're just disgusting, okay. Wow, that was good. Yeah, it's such a shame that some of these things are so bad from you because some of these things are so good. Respectfully, you know, like some of your little clips have been really quite nice. Like they look really tight mechanically.
Yeah, actually, the 50 games of One String Echo, if there's anything it did, it really helped my mechanics in Echo.
Oh yeah. Now we just have to hammer out some of these bad habits, whether they're mental or not. Okay, so
yeah. So sorry for going over. You can
no. Okay. Let's write up our points first. First. So what needs to be practiced?
Hold good angles and look. Well, okay. So some of the minor stuff first. So minor stuff.
Well, let's start with the major stuff. Let's start with the major stuff. Because to me, it's making the decision between spam versus dive. Spam versus dive. Well,
sometimes you can do both.
So right. Like, what does the composition map provide?
Right.
Adjusting mid-fight even, right? Because you're right. You could do both. You could spam an angle and then go for a dive. Okay, what else? From there, once you make that decision, then what are some of the details you need to be executing better?
CD dump before dupe.
Right, CD dump.
If I'm duping, especially if I'm duping tank, make sure my own tank is committing. And that's pretty important. And let's see.
Those are the big ones.
Mm-hmm. I think in general, I think it's fair to say is it fair to say just poke more, or is that not quite right?
No, I don't want you to do that. Okay. Yeah, I don't want you to do that because I want you to. It's not the fact that I want you to be because we might go to the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Like I want you to practice not spamming more. I want you to practice making better decisions with how you position yourself, right?
Okay.
Making the read between hard spam, hard dive, somewhere in between, early spam, then late dive. You know what I'm saying, right? Like we look at each situation, just look at each situation, be like, okay, where should it be to get the most value right now? And then where do I adjust that accordingly? You know, like whether it's the Hanzo and second point, that was great because you didn't want to spam monkey because you wanted to be sneaky for an all-in dive. And that was good because it was Hanzo and because Hanzo was close and because the position allowed you to.
And can we make a little like addendum to point one about like ult eco? Because I think that was one pretty big thing from this scrim.
Consider composition map ult eco provide. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay, any questions?
Okay, I mentioned this in the Google form. I don't know if it's Google form, but the appetite thing. I am trying to gain weight. You mentioned being super skinny in high school. Yeah. I'm now 2 years into college. I'm certainly, a little bulkier than I used to be, but I feel like a lot of times still food is the limiting factor.
Sure.
How do you just like eat more?
Are you like physically active? I assume.
I'd say I'm fairly active.
Yeah. Working on. Okay. I would work at just adding 150, 200 calories more from where you're at. I would have a general guess just about how much you're eating. What I would do is I'd track my calories for a few days on the average day. Just try to eat normal, try to find your spectrum. And then I would add 150, 200 calories more to that and try to make it relatively high quality stuff. Like, a little bit of carb, a little bit of protein, something like that. Don't just like eat a candy bar, obviously. But find something that's going to like actually fuel you and start small and try to build that into your habit. For me, it was like, basically I realized that I could have been eating a little bit more. And then I started to eat more. And I was a stupid teenager. And even I was smart enough to at least have a general idea. Okay, I need to be eating a little bit more, but I'm gonna try and eat like I was eating like avocado, like eating a little bit of avocados, or I was eating like I was making my protein shakes like my homemade protein shakes. I was eating like 20-30% more of that, or I'd have like an apple and peanut butter, for example. That was pretty much it. I was keeping it simple, but I was really consistent with it, right?
So just go out of your way to just like eat that one more thing for the day, basically.
Right. And make it good. And make sure, and also like try to have a general idea of like where you should be eating calories wise. Because back in the day, I had to eat around 4,000 calories to gain weight. As an active
that's
teenager.
why I was skinny. That's why I was skinny in high school. I was a high school swimmer. And I think I think it was probably the same for me. If it wasn't 4K, like we'd have like Popeye's chicken sandwiches after swimming, and that would be nothing. Like
Yeah. I remember I don't recommend this, but I remember I went to Taco Bell after tackle football practice, and me and a quarterback buddy of mine, we both like lifted a lot of weights, and I think we ate around 2,000 calories at Taco Bell in one meal, right? And it's like that was like normal, right? That was easy. So I was like, that's kind of like what you need to be kind of looking for, but find something more nutritious and do something and be consistent. Like it's really hard with body composition, just like SR and like anything to like get impatient. But like, as opposed to SR where it's like, the worst case scenario, you play a little bit too much video games. Body composition is not something you want to mess with. Like you're going to be gaining at most 2.5, maybe at most 3 pounds of muscle a month. Probably not. Right. So if you're pushing numbers beyond that, a lot of people get impatient. Like, oh, it's been like 6 months and I've only gained like 3 pounds. Right. That's good. 4 pounds, 3 or 4 pounds of muscle is a lot. It's just slow.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's a lot. Because if you push it too hard, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. You're going to gain a lot of fat. You're not going to feel as good. It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, mate.